Hi there, everybody. So let's just get right down to it. I finally watched The Last Airbender. Yeah, and if you don't know what The Last Airbender is, it's a movie. I didn't look up when it came out. I remember when it came out. Um, and yeah, a lot of people were talking about it. It's based on the series Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, I mean, it's an hour and 44 minutes long, so I mean, I know they're not going to get every I knew they were basing the whole movie off one season, the first season, and that was Bookwater. Um, if you don't know, the seasons are called by the four elements. There's water. There are three seasons actually. There's water, earth, and air. There's water, earth, and fire. And of course, he doesn't. The Avatar, Aang, doesn't. There isn't a season called air because he already knows how to do air. But the the sequences are named after the elements that he learned one by one. So they focus on in this one they focus on water. So I was, and of course, like everyone else who saw, a lot of other people who saw it, I did not like it. I always wanted to see, I knew from the reviews, I knew it was bad, but I just have a hankering for bad movies. I just want to see, one, because I love watching bad movies and I love to make fun of them, and two, I just wanted to, I wanted to come in. I want to watch something with an open mind to see if it's a spin, even though it's a spin-off of something. I don't want to judge it too harshly. Like the show on Netflix, Shira. I watched the '80s version, Shira, and then there's a new one now that's 5 seasons called Shira, the Princesses of Power. And in the first seasons, it was a slow start, but like the last season was pretty good. So, and but aside from Shira, so to get into the reasons why I do not like um the movie is because everything happened way too fast. And like I said, I just said before, I know they're trying to fit one whole season into the movie, and I get, like, you, if you want to sum up you want to sum up the season in one movie, and I get that, but like, there are things that you should have done differently. It's just like, you can't. What am I trying to say? You can't, if it's about the if it's about you trying to if it's about you trying to save the Northern Water Tribe from the the Northern Water Tribe from the Fire Nation, make it about that. Don't make a series of small plots or small things, and then just at the end, oh, you know what? We should do that. And it's like, don't just make it about, um, like, at the end, Aang finally figures out, oh, I need to show them the power of the ocean spirit. The dragon spirit says, you need to show them the power of the ocean spirit, the ocean. And it's just like, really? Because the moon is right there too. And you show that they are yin and yang, push and pull. And that's actually from the the actual episode too. But you show as that like they're into the moon and the ocean are interconnected, yet they focus only on how show them the power of the ocean and the Fire Nation will retreat. And Aang doesn't even do anything. He just moves the ocean up and down. So then they'll be the Fire Nation will be like, oh, we need to leave. Ah, and it's just like, well, so the Fire Nation is supposed to be have honor and be brave and everything. So they just leave after that. It's like, and it is just like it's not really believable. And there's no character development whatsoever. I mean, that whole when they went to the air temple and found Gyatso, well, even right before they found Gyatso, Aang was talking about Monk Gyatso, and he just out of nowhere he said, "Oh, he's like my father." It's like, so okay. He was like my father. It's like, okay, so I'm supposed to take your word for it. How was he like your father? He doesn't explain how was he like a father to you. And we only get random flashbacks of we only get random flashbacks of him with Gyatso. And it has other people in the flashbacks. His classmates with him in the flashback. So I don't see how Gyatso played a huge part in your life. I just see how he is a teacher can play a huge part in your life, but a teacher and having someone act like a parent to you are two different relationships. You can have a good, I'm not saying you can't have a good relationship with your teacher, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to call my teacher my father. So when he got mad and went to Avatar State, it was like, what? I don't understand. Why do I care? Why do I care if Aang's sad? I mean, yeah, when you know someone and they've been in your life for a particular amount of time, you just find out that they've been dead for especially for a long time. Yeah, you're gonna get a little bit mad, but you're gonna get sad. But I don't know how I'm supposed to care about this. You can't. This is why I have a problem with I don't have a problem with flashbacks, but people need to not narrate stuff. Also, yeah, and there was a lot of narration going on too. Like when Sokka met Yue, Katara had to narrate. Oh, they became friends very fast, and we knew what that meant. We knew what that meant, but we don't know how much Yue meant to Sokka and how much Sokka meant to Yue. So we never really got that. There was only a kiss at the end when he was just like, when they were deciding whether she should give her life to the moon spirit or not. And it's like, so I'm supposed to think that you two are in love just because you kissed? I mean, anyone can do that. And also the reason why Aang ran away in the beginning when he came into the water Katara's water tribe, Southern Water Tribe, yes. He was just like Katara just like, so what were you doing in that ball of ice? He was no so nonchalantly, I ran away. And it's just like, you ran, even though he didn't know how long he was in there and what had happened to the air nomads, when you run away from home, no matter how stupid it is in hindsight, you run away from home because you think it's a good reason. Like, yeah, I've run away from home. I don't usually run away from home, but when I do leave home just to like get away from it all, I have a good reason for it, because I just need space. I need to think. I want to or I'm just really mad. So like just to say nonchalantly, "Oh, I ran home." It's kind it when someone asks you why did you leave the place you grew up in, it's kind of a hard thing to talk about. But he was just like, I ran home, but I'm over it now. Like how are you over it that quickly? It's like you didn't have time for anything. So also there's no character development. Everything went too fast. I feel like M. Night Shyamalan was making Avatar be able to do everything when it was just like it was really not everything. The bending, yes, the Avatar. I feel like he made the Avatar be able to do everything, like just like that test that Iroh did with that Iroh and Zuko did. He put water on the table. Iroh put water on the table. That went into a circle. He put a candle on the table. The flame from the candle sprang up. He put rock on the table, and the rock went moved. And it's just like, so bending is seismic activity as well. It looked like seismic activity. So when a bender is around an element, it moves. Bending is willing act. If he referenced the show, he would know bending is a reference. I mean, bending is willing. I mean, you could, like, if I was a waterbender, I could walk past water and nothing would happen because I didn't want the water to move. But apparently, but I mean, but I guess, but since Aang is a different form of a bender, do he can do stuff like that. But no, he can't, because he's someone who can bend the four elements and contact the spirit, but he can't do all those stuff because there are benders who can create lightning. He can't. He but we know he can do direct lightning. There are benders that can move their face um and then and stuff happens like Boomy. He can move his face and stuff happens. And it's just like that's wasn't an effective way to test if he was the Avatar. Um and you already know he's an airbender, so just why don't you, like, I don't know, throw something at him and see if he can make it float in midair or something. I don't know. Um Second, I mean, well, not second, but so I went through, yeah, second about the bending. I felt like the movements were off with the bending. I mean, I know in the series you had to do a few moves before you actually saw some moves, something happening, or like you had to gather your chi right before something moved. But the movement, I don't know, the movements were kind of off, especially when they were in the Earth Kingdom and they were trying to maneuver stuff. And it was just like, it just looked all like it was bad timing. There's nothing wrong with the martial arts, but it looked like it was bad timing um, for everything. Um, and when Iroh was in I forget what it's called, the place in Northern Water Tribe with the koi fish, and Zhao um killed the fish, he was he barely did anything. He got angry. Yeah, Arrow gets angry in the series as well, yes. But he got angry and he did literally nothing. It just fire just came out of his hands, and like that's supposed to signify that you're gonna do something. It doesn't. It didn't really make me see. It didn't really make me. And only the reason why Zhao also said you're not you something like you're weak, Iroh, when he killed the thing and killed the koi fish and killed the moon spirit. And so then, and it didn't really strike me, like, how was I supposed to understand that the Fire Nation thought Iroh was weak in the beginning? So it's very not clear. The bending was just not clear. The story was not clear. In those parts where when Zuko was in the water tribe, and he took Aang, and Aang was still in the Avatar state. I was wondering why when Aang came out of the state, Zuko was having that monologue to himself. You know, in that episode where he's just like, where he's talking to Aang, and he's telling him, "Oh well, my father says, my sister was born lucky, and he says I was lucky to be born." He and It was weird because it's just like, if you're going to put that scene from the speech from the series in the show, just have the whole speech, because that speech is very significant to Zuko's character. Or just don't have it at all. Why does he have to come in? Why does Aang have to be conscious in the middle of that speech? So he didn't understand. The audience didn't understand the whole speech, and he didn't understand the whole speech. So do something else, or just don't put it in. Second thing, when Aang saves Zuko, well, not really save, like Aang, well, Katara put him in ice, and then Aang let him breathe. He was just like, he ran out, but he said we could be friends though, and then he just left. It's just like, don't put Aang. Yes, in the series he does say that, but don't put it in if you're not gonna do anything with that line. Because how are we supposed to know if Aang is the type of person who's amicable with everyone? How are we supposed to know that he wants to try and see the good in everyone? That goes in with character development. We don't know anything about Aang. We don't know anything about Katara, and we don't know anything about Sokka. And the only thing we know about Zuko is that he has to get the Avatar to regain his honor. And so he's so hell-bent on honor. With Yue, I mean, that was a significant scene. I mean, in the series, it was a significant scene where they were she gave her life for the moon spirit, but in the movie it was just, I get how they were trying to what I'm saying is like I they're showing that the moon needs the ocean and the water tribe needs the ocean, needs the moon and the ocean. What I don't get is like why when Aang went to see the dragon spirit, the dragon solely said use the ocean to ward off the Fire Nation, but yet Yue still saves the moon. Yue saves the moon, and so the moon is helping Aang in the moon is helping Aang with the ocean when he's bending the ocean. So like nothing happened. No, there was no point in there was just no point with the moon being present. It's like it should have happened after, because even if Aang did get rid of them, even if Aang did get rid of the Fire Nation, the moon was still gonna be gone. So it would be much more significant and impactful scene if Yue gave her life after everything happened. And at the beginning of the movie, speaking of the spirit world, Katara and Sokka didn't know what the spirit world was. It's just like, even if Katara's the only waterbender in the whole Southern Water Tribe, they all should know what the spirit world is, because everyone everyone who's not a bender should still worships the spirits, even if they're not benders. So I don't know how they didn't know what that was, or didn't know what the avatar was, for that matter. He says, but when he's meditating at the when Aang's meditating at the Northern Water Tribe, she was just like, always knew you were real. And it's just like, but of course you know he's real, because you found him. And then someone tell you he's the avatar. So it's just like, I can't follow this movie. And it's just like, did I like anything? I don't know. That it ended, I guess. That's the best thing I have to say, that it ended. Even Avatar, like they didn't even mention that Fire Lord Sozin was Iroh's brother until, like, I don't know, when Zhao all of a sudden decided to say, you know what, Fire Lord Sozin, your brother, and I decide that we need to get rid of the moon spirit. And I'm just like, what? That's a big thing right there. Well, actually, it makes sense, because he's the uncle. So, but he could have been the maternal uncle. We don't. If you didn't see the show, but most likely you've seen the show. So, and that would make it worse, because it's just like, M. Night Shyamalan wrote, produced, and directed. So it's like, people who watch the show are gonna see it, and if you didn't do it justice, people are gonna be ragging on you. And it's just like, it wasn't good. I don't think there was anything a person who would have watched Avatar, probably even a person who never watched Avatar but wanted to watch this movie, would say is good, say something good came out of this. And here's the problem I have with a lot of these movies. And I've seen these parallels with these sci-fi movies and these horror movies from the 60s, specifically sci-fi movies, they are so engrossed in special effects that they forget there needs to be a plot, and the plot needs to make sense. He was so infatuated with the bending and with the spirit world that you had no substantial you had no substance going on. There was nothing I could there were so many things happening at one point. I didn't know what was supposed to be going on. Thank God I watched the first season because I know what act was supposed to happen. Um do I kind of want I mean, the ending did leave a cliffhanger, and we know what's gonna happen. We know because we saw the second season. We know what's gonna happen. Hopefully, you saw the whole thing, the whole series. But if you didn't, that's okay. Um, but I'm kind of. I mean, I don't like the movie, but I kind of want there to be a sequel. Don't judge me. I kind of want there to be a sequel because I want to see if he does something else. But I know there's not going to be a sequel because it's been a long time since the first movie came out. But I mean, but it can happen. Things can happen. So, how did what would happen if he wrote in Toph? Oh my gosh! If there was another sequel and he wrote Toph in, wow! I wonder how that would play out. Um, but other than that, and don't judge me, Appa was very cute. He was very very cute. Um, and that's basically everything I have to say about The Last Airbender. I give it 1.5 stars because for people who don't know about Avatar The Last Airbender, probably dipped your feet into the water. Pun intended. Ha. Um and hopefully for someone who hasn't seen it, it will make them wonder, hey, you know what, I kind of want to see this now. I kind of want to see the series now, and and compare or see what happens after the Northern One tribe was invaded and the Fire Nation left. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Peace.